Here we go. Gachiakuta. We are picking up where we left off from our last podcast episode, where we went through speedrun style episodes 1 through 12.
Speed run for us, which was somehow still long as fuck.
We are starting on episode 13, back half of Gachiakuta.
Also, trigger warning for fucking grooming,
Human trafficking.
human trafficking, R word. There's a lot in this episode. We'll probably explain it a little more lighthearted than what the episode shows you. Even so, the way that it goes about it is really tasteful, but so fucked up because of how fucked up Amo's past is. If you're very sensitive to this, everybody that's here, we appreciate you, but you don't have to stay. Just be aware, Gachiakuta episode 13 gets pretty dark. I mean, the show was pretty metal beforehand, but this is just a really fucked up scenario, so just be aware.
I'll try to make it less. All right, here we go. Episode 13. We are starting off.
Good luck, Greg. Good luck.
Where episode 12 left off. And Amo is recalling her childhood and sees a bunch of ravens. And she's like, these things are cool. Mommy, look at these birds. I want them to be my friends. And her mom says that they will never like her. And then Amo yells back at the birds when she thinks they don't want to be her friends because her mom said so. Her mom grabs
so
her
fucked
hand
up already
and continues to lead her. And Amo asks where they're going. And her mom says to someone who will love her lots and lots. And they then roll up to some dude in an alley. Amo is confused, but her mom says that this man will love her forever. And Amo gets excited and has a little child drawing thought process of her having the best time with her new owner friend.
It shows the exchange into child slavery and the beginning of the grooming process that this man has purchased because this world is fucked up and this is what's going on. And the mom gets like a large sum of money and she's happy, and Amo is being lied to and told that, yeah, it's fucked up.
The child drawing continues, and the man pays her mom for selling him Amo, and then him and Amo ride off to the tower in the Petra Desert. Amo is like, oh, this castle is sick. Mom would love this castle. And he says her mom decided not to be in her life anymore, and he will now be her life.
Also, the way that he looks at her while saying this is so fucked up, dude. So there are a lot of mannerisms where people will bite their own nails when they're feeling unsure about the situation or uncomfortable. The way that he's biting his finger, he's just like, well, I'll be your life from now on. And it's like, ugh, this is disgusting. Oh, this is disgusting. This guy is obviously like planned this out and understands as an adult that this is fucked up and still continuing on because he's so fucked up. Like, it made me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it sucks because like the second this episode started and then you see Amo walking like with her mom, I immediately am just like, well, I know where we're going.
Yup. Yup.
I better just buckle up now.
Dude, fucking grab that seatbelt. We're crashing headfirst into this fucking nightmare.
There's lots of picture books and food and clothes. And now Amo is grown up. And she asks if he gets all of this stuff from his job. And he's like, yep. And he says he's a trafficker. And he gets more things than he'll ever need.
It's saying she was 4 or 5 potentially, and that in the current world, she's around 15 or 16. So it's been a year since she was sold. So at the point in time, she's potentially like 16 or 17.
But the dude is like, all the other traffickers hate me. And he doesn't know why. And he says he acts completely normal, but they all say he's creepy, as he creepily freaks out about no one liking him. He says he's a giver, and there aren't many traffickers like him. And Amo thinks, oh, well, there he goes again, complaining about the same old shit. The dude is like, Amo, this place is used for rituals, and we should do the ritual again. Their usual ritual, the one they do all the time. Amo says her heart beats fast when they do the ritual, and it's hard to breathe. And she's like, yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe no rituals today. But the guy is like, oh, well, what you're feeling, well, that's love. And then goes to get one of the kids' picture books about a princess. And he's like, see, the princess falls in love with the prince. And that's what you feel. Amo is like, oh shit. And then we have another kid's drawing of what Amo thinks is love, but it's just the dude laying on top of her, and the kid's music playing in the background turns all fucked up, and it's all fucked up all around.
Yeah, it was just like a really uncomfortable episode. I can't stress enough how you don't wish this upon anyone. It's a fucked up scenario. This whole world of Gachiakuta is so dark at times, and this is potentially its darkest moments. Like, JJK has tons of death and destruction, and you feel like your heart breaks for these almost child soldiers fighting against insurmountable odds. But you also understand that they have some semblance of power in the situation where you could have hope for them. Whereas you watch this, and it's the twist of hope, the destruction of serenity for a child, and the manipulation. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, and it's crazy because if you think that Amo was like 4 or 5 when she was bought, she's been in this tower the whole time.
The whole time. She has not left for a day. So she's been in this nightmare for 10 years minimum.
That's the crazy thing about grooming and trafficking. She obviously doesn't know that
she has no idea.
Nightmare because she hasn't seen anything outside of her Rapunzel tower that she's in or whatever. They snap back to reality after the ritual is complete, and the dude is just in the corner mumbling to himself with the Watchmen series boots, saying he's not alone. And Amo is like, oh, first love, what a feeling, as she dresses herself.
The other thing is, I didn't take a screenshot of her laying down after the situation, but the way that, like, she looks at him like she cares for him because he's told her, he's manipulated her to say, like, this is what first love feels like. She gets a little cartoon flowers around her, and he's like hugging these boots. This dude is just the fucking worst.
2 masked figures then enter the room as Amo's getting dressed, and the dude uses his boots and does some giver shit, but gets the shit kicked out of him by one of the masked intruders. If you watched Gachiakuta up to this point, one of the masked dudes has the same mask that killed Regto in episode 1, and it appears he's targeting specific people for the Watchmen series. In this next scene, they take his boots off and give them to Amo and are like, these are yours now, and says the void created by what your heart has lost, these will fill. So this is very similar to what happened with Rudo, where after Regto was killed, and we'll see it in the later episodes too, like this Watchmen series is like filling a gap of humanity that these people lost.
I have so many questions, but I'm really going to be upset if, like, Regto, later on we find out that he also was trafficking, but, like, took care of Rudo because he saw something in Rudo or something like that. I'm going to be really sad about that. We've been shown that Regto is this good person so far, and this whole episode makes me afraid of, like, everybody that could potentially be in the show could just be an absolute monster. It is true with real life. Question everything, obviously. Treat people with respect, but, like, you don't know these people's history.
But Amo sniffs the boots and then takes them, and the masked figures say Amo can keep the boots until the time comes. And then they fly off, and Amo is like, oh shit, angels. Trafficker dude wakes up and walks to Amo, and Amo is like, oh shit, did you see those people? They were angels. And he's like, Amo, those are my fucking boots. And he pushes her down and starts beating her and berating her. Amo thinks that this doesn't feel right, and the little cartoon flowers disappear, and Amo wonders if the boots are causing it, but the Watchman symbol on the boots starts to glow. And Amo is like, you know what? These boots do suit me better. And then she gets crazy Vital Instrument eyes and thinks no one can have these boots. Cuts back to the present, and Rudo walks in and is like, hey, Amo, you know what about earlier? And Folo is like, Rudo, where the fuck have you been? She's literally telling us everything and you missed it all. Cuts back to Amo's flashback, and Trafficker Dude is like, why is my vital instrument responding to you? And they should only respond to the original user. So why are they doing that? Amo's attitude turns back to normal-ish, and she's like, well, maybe because they didn't belong to you. And she says she doesn't know much about vital instruments, but the angel said they suited her better, and her heart feels full when she holds the boots. And it's like a piece of her that she lost. Amo was like, hey, can I have these? I literally haven't asked for anything else in my entire life. And the trafficker guy goes to take them back, and he's like, it's not nice to take other people's things, but you wouldn't understand because you're fucking trash. Amo is like, you take shit from other people all the time. And the angel said so. And he's like, why are you being so disobedient? I guess I have to teach you again. And continues to try and take the boots. But Amo is like, hey man, I got a lot of feelings going on in my head right now. But Amo won't ask for anything ever again if I can just have these boots.
This is literally like she's trying to plead with him. All of her emotions are going absolutely haywire. Someone has gifted her something unapologetically after knocking this dude's fucking lights out, and then he's trying to take it back from her. It is just like, I cannot fucking imagine what Amo has gone through emotionally in this 10 minutes that all of this has happened. And being fucking like curb stomped into the fucking wall by this dude that she thought cared for her. And it just all makes me so sad for humanity.
I mean, it hasn't even been like 10 minutes since they ritualed, and then he's already like kicking her.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. If only those people had gotten there like 10 minutes before, they would have probably blown his brains out.
Well, I mean, in reality, they probably waited because this is the perfect time to give the boots to her.
Yeah, but also then they're terrible people too. Like, and we also know that because we watched Regto get murdered by this guy. And all of this is like, this whole show is like how people are manipulating each other. And like, it's so hard. It's this anime brings to light a lot of things that I think a lot of other anime are afraid to do, and how fucked up the world is. And I'm really glad that it exists, and I really enjoy it as a show because I do like the more serious tone and showing like a mirror to the world. But like also I understand how fucked up and how like how warped people could watch this show and not truly understand what's going on. Because you also have like, okay, I'm gonna go back to another thing. Like you have other shows like Bleach where like people are shipping these characters. Shunsui used to be one of my favorite characters, but you find out that like the way that he talks to his lieutenant, I forget her name, but she's his cousin. And then there's it's just like, there's so many disgusting stories that are just like totally fine to be shown on TV that don't get like investigated. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are we okaying here?
The trafficker guy is like, fuck no, my boots. And they tussle over the boots, and then he gets flung from the tower and dies. And then I have a note here that says, man, if he just gave up the boots, he probably could have continued to live his fucked up fantasy world he created, but his selfishness got him here, and now he's dead.
If you have the mental faculty to understand that it's a fantasy world that has no connection to real life. But if you are somebody like Amo, who is watching all of these things and absorbing them and thinking that it's okay because the TV showed you that it was okay, there's so much that doesn't get stringent lines of like, hey, this is not okay. Let's discuss this, let's extrapolate, and then investigate all of this. It's like you're crossing a line, and it's a line for not only me, but a line for the law. But there is importance to morality and understanding that we should be good humans to each other and treat each other with respect and kindness that should be taught and helped usher in the next generation. And that's where I have a frustration is I've obviously been in the world and seen a lot of things, but somebody that's 12 years old seeing Bleach for the first time is like, wait, this is a really cool show about really cool people and really cool stuff. And then all of a sudden they see like this one instance of a really fucked up scenario and they're like, yeah, but that guy's so cool. Like, he's probably totally fine as a person. And it's like, no. This scenario's fucked up. Let's bring a light to this. Let's show that. And it's another thing that I notice in the world I want to bring a light to and call to. Like, you don't need to draw the 3,000-year-old girl looking like a 12-year-old. You don't need to do that.
What if she's a vampire?
She's 3,000 years old. You have 2,988 years other that you can draw. You don't need to do the 12-year-old thing. But at the same token, you can talk about it as a real situation. If you are going to draw them as a 12-year-old, you can talk about the real implications of what's going on, like they did an Interview with the Vampire, where they turned that girl into a vampire at 12 years old because she had the bubonic plague. And then they're like, okay, what is going on through her brain? Not hypersexualizing her, but her understanding how fucked up the rest of her life is because she's a 100-year-old vampire dealing with being in a 12-year-old body and not being able to love in the normal sense. Like, that's fucked up. We could talk about that. We don't need to talk about the dude hypersexualizing a 12-year-old. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
But Amo has a moment of clarity and wonders what she's doing here and why she was with that dude and why her mom sold her. But she dismisses the thought and just says it's because her mom wanted her to be loved. And then she sniffs the boots and says Trafficker Man was her first love and she won't forget him. It narrates that this is when Amo discovered her power and many people entered the desert and she wanted to be loved by so many people. Flashes to months later, and Amo sees the quote-unquote angels flying overhead, and she said they came back, but it was only one of them this time. Back to the present, everyone is like, damn, well, that story was fucked up, but we learned about the angels, and Folo is like, well, doesn't sound like a real angel, maybe a spherite? And Zonka says that, or a giver that can grow wings. And Tomsy says, well, she's pretty mentally unstable, so it could have been a hallucination. Rio is like, that's cool, but how did they cross the border? And Amo says, with wings. And Rio is like, but where did they land? And Amo says, over the horizon, as she's drawing a picture with a rock. Engine asks when the angel came back, and she said about a month ago. And he's like, that's about the same time Rudo came to the ground. Amo has been drawing the masked dude with the rock, and Rudo recognizes it and starts to go anger crazy again and dreaming about how he's going to kill him and make them apologize at Regto's grave. Amo is like, you're the same, Rudo, aren't you? Those gloves made your heart human again, right? And she says the gloves and the boots go well with people who are missing something, and these things have enough to fill the holes in their hearts. And Amo got back the feelings humans should have, but becoming human made her understand some things. Amo starts crying and says she understands the things like what the trafficker was doing to her and that she was alone, but she was afraid to leave and waited for somebody to come get her. Amo is like, Rudo, I know you came to apologize, but you don't have to. And he is just like her, and not just her, but like everyone, that they only use their hands when it's time to hit somebody, and that's why the world never changes. Rudo squats down and is like, well, to form connections with other people, we need to learn how to hold our hands out to others. And Rudo doesn't know how to do it right either, so they should learn together. And then he holds out his hand. The cleaners leave the tower, and Amo says she wants to stay a little longer to work some things out, and she tells Rudo to come back to talk sometime, and she holds up her hand, and they gave her a communicator ring thing. The cleaners leave and drive in the Jeep Wrangler, and Engine is like, well, we didn't learn how to cross the border, but we learned some other shit like angels that can cross the border and a vital instrument that has the same marking as Rudo's. Rudo thinks he got so mad that he hit Amo, and just seeing her drawing of the masked dude almost made him lose his shit again, but listening to Amo helped him not go crazy for some reason. After the cleaners leave, the credits roll, and then it cuts back to the tower and Amo, and there is someone else there. But the camera pans out from the tower as she's yelling to give them back, which I assume are her boots, and screaming. Then we get a shot of Jabber walking through the desert, and then cuts to the Raider dude with the Watchmen series jacket saying that it's time to start. And that's episode 13.
Insane. all around. I wish that Rudo actually did apologize and was just like, look, sorry about that. I agree with you. It is hard living in this world. And yeah, we have that somewhat connection, but I do feel like him at least reaching out his hand has some semblance of camaraderie and understanding how to be a normal human being. Because we've seen before in his storyline, he doesn't even understand how to smile without looking like a fucking psycho. So he's got his own demons to fight. And that's what I really like about this show, is that they're getting really deep with how much lost humanity happens on a daily basis with people going through massive amounts of trauma.
I think in Rudo's own way, he did more or less apologize without saying the words. And at the end, it looked pretty amicable, and they kind of water under the bridge, like we're on the same page now. But yeah, it just sucks for Amo because she, even at the very end now, because we don't know what happened to Amo. We don't know if she died or if it was even Jabber in the tower. Like, we don't know. It's just all kind of like left up in the air on like what actually happened to Amo. Who knows? We'll find out later in the next episodes of Gachiakuta.
I love this show. I've talked about it before with some other friends, and I recommended it to another friend of mine, and I said, if you like watching a more serious tone on the shonen anime, this is it. This is going to be it for you. It's got the funny jokes. It's got like the humor. But when it takes time to talk about the serious shit, it does a good job. Very similar, personally, to Dandadan. Dandadan's episode about Acrobatic Silky was fucked up in its own right, but it feels gross. But you don't feel like empty inside because you have the caring affection of Acrobatic Silky and Ira at the end of it, where they find that mother-daughter aspect. This does not feel like that. There's no like super stoked everything's gonna be fine, because like within 10 minutes of them leaving, it's like, oh my god, can this girl catch a fucking break, please?
Yeah. This was probably the most serious episode. The later episodes kind of go back to normal.
It brings attention to an important subject.
They did it in a very good way where we understand as viewers what happened, and they didn't have to go any deeper than this, and I think they knew. So it was that's why I say it's like tastefully done. Like, obviously it's uncomfortable and it's like a not good subject, but how they portrayed it was good. And the fact that it's inside of like a shonen anime, it's kind of like, damn. But yeah, no, we don't have to worry about any other super deep, serious shit for a bit now. We will continue down the road with these 4 animes until the end of the season, and then the start of the winter 2026 season that is coming up.
Thank you, friends, so much for hanging out with us on this wonderful new season of the Anime Book Club podcast. Winter has descended upon us, and we are relishing in it. Thank you to GamerSupps for sponsoring. Use code DJ Montague at checkout for 10% off your GamerSupps order. And also, thank you to IT Aesthetics. We have 2 codes for you. You can use the website tab C10 at checkout for 10% off your whole order, or you can use tab C5 for $5 off your order, which combos with other coupons, which, like, they're coupons from the website itself. So, good news, friends. We appreciate you so much. Thank you again for sponsoring the show. Shout out to us putting stuff on Spotify and YouTube and anywhere you can listen to podcasts in the comfort of your own home. Watch and listen and enjoy. Greg, what else we got?
I guess I can go to the website if they want to. animebookclub.com.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, you can see pictures of us. So if you get lonely, just stare longingly at our portraits.
Yeah, 100%.
But the moral of the story, which was kind of taken...
No, it wasn't taken from you. It was
DJ
amplified
Montague.
With you.
No, but literally my moral was actually like, ask questions. You shouldn't blindly believe or follow anything. You should always question like the whys of why are we doing whatever we're doing? Like, what are we trying to achieve? It's like elementary school. We all learned it, the who, what, where, when, why, how. All of those are really good questions, and they should be applied to situations in your life. And you should ask those questions to make sure that what you're doing is the best for you.
I agree. Thank you again, friends. It was wonderful having you here.
It is time for us to depart on the wings of an angel. And only one of us are going to return, and it's not going to be me.
Well, I also have to cook dinner. I made some cowboy chili and it's really good.
Oh, damn. Just don't drop it on the floor.
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna take spoonfuls and then put it on a pan and then cook it. Friends, thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Goodbye from me, Greg.
Salutations.
How dare you do that to me again?
Do what?
Say goodbye to the people.
Oh. All right,
like
everybody.
you do every episode. We're like 80
bad.
fucking episodes deep. You say it every time. Making my poor neighbors listen to me yell at you.
Well, we're not quite at 80 episodes. I think this is 71? 71.
Sick.
We've done 71 episodes.
Dude, we're killing it right now. See you next week.
Goodbye.
Excellent. Thank you, friends, for checking out the Anime Book Club podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you don't want to miss the next one, follow us on the socials where we announce new episodes, content, and other cool stuff. You can also check out our anime list with our rankings and follow along with what we're currently watching and what we have watched in the past.
All the links are in the description. See you in the next one. Bye!